2 or 3 times the company EREMA. We build good machines. Let's say you can buy the best Mercedes-Benz, but if you cannot drive, it's useless. And these people are more or less like say, Formula 1 driver. So I come from the company EREMA. We produce recycling machines. We are on the market more than 30 years. And I'm the sales manager for China. China is a huge market. You know, more or less all of the plastic goes to China. So for me, it's a very big pleasure to be in the #1 recycling country of PET. You can say each second each second collected PET bottle goes to China. That's a huge number, but it's not only imported, it's also collected in China. So half of half. Half is imported, half is collected in China. But the problem is, everything goes more or less in fiber. Fiber, it's good, you have to recycle it, but it's only one-time recycle. You can give a bottle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times a second life. And this is how the Europeans do it. In Europe, recycling is expensive. The labor costs are higher. The energy costs are higher. But how they can do this? They go for a next quality step. And this is the bottle recycling. And this is the reason in Europe you have 22%, and all over the world you have 11%. You can say in Europe you get to a bottle rate of 10%, but in the whole world only 2 or 3%. How is this possible? Okay, maybe with the EREMA, because more or less in the European market everybody uses EREMA or EREMA. You see a market share of 57%, that's a huge number. And also in the sheet market. The sheet market is a little bit different because you use multi-layer. So you don't need a very good contamination of the carpet because you have on the outer layers a virgin material. But you can say more or less 50% of the carpet which goes back to the food market is processed by EREMA. But again, I'm sure we are not the cheapest. I know we are not the cheapest. Why everybody uses EREMA, especially in Europe? How is this possible? And there's only one question. Because you make money with it. We can call it CO2 or something, but you make money. There are some processes. You can use a standard SSP process. I will explain it later. Or EREMA technology. And with EREMA technology, you save between 50% of your energy or 30% of your energy. And this gives you a big benefit because energy is very expensive. And you can say, if you make a calculation only on the energy costs, I give you also other benefits with why EREMA is better, but only on the energy side, you recycle 2 tons per hour. I know some application in China it goes up to 7 tons. But only for 2 tons, you lose each month 20,000 euros, only on energy cost, if you use EREMA or other system. In 9 years, you can buy a new machine. So that's huge, that's brilliant. But the other way is this, if the energy goes higher, the gap will be bigger. And also, if you go in a competition with other producers, that means he goes absolutely on the limits of the product cost. But you get 20% income, you get 20% profit. So it's every time good for battles if you work with this process. And the other thing is, look in the future. You know, in Europe, they go in this CO2 emission, CO2 certification, and the European market will close. In the future they will close, they will say, if you have a product that has this function, this weight, this CO2, this product must be this CO2 emission. If it's higher, You cannot come to the European Union. The same is in the United States, everywhere. It will come in the future to protect the market. So, use a technology which use less energy and you save money and you have a market in the future. And you also can buy CO2 emission certification. The price is now between 15 and 20 euros per ton in year. They say in 5-10 years it's go up to 50. We will see. So I told you the energy price has only one direction and it goes up. How does PT recycling works? What are the targets? You have to get out the dirt. That's one important thing. Because who wants to drink from a bottle which is dirty? The other thing is you have to make the quality similar like you used it as a virgin. And the virgin quality measurement is the IV. Normally it should be 0.8, something like this, depends on the application. To build up the IV, you have get out the moisture. If the moisture is out, you can build up the IV. So it should be 50 ppm. Okay, I don't speak Chinese, I can read Chinese, but it should mean more or less, first you get out the fluid dirt, like alcohol. Alcohol gets the gas out about 70 degrees. The next step would be the oil. Some oils are 200, 300 degrees to get out. And for sure, all the stones, aluminium, paper, everything get out. So you have very clean PET bottle flakes. This we make in the reactor, let's say. The next step is also get out the moisture. Because you can say PET is like a swamp straw. All the moisture from the air from everywhere sucks in, and also the collector are clever because they get money for the weight of the PET bottle flakes. So if they collect it in winter, 3-5% have a higher weightage, they get more money. Bad for a recycler, but they do it. So one step, get out the contamination. The next is build up the IV. I show you the standard process. I work sometime in the kitchen. That's Austria. The man to get a good wife, you have to cook. Otherwise, it's impossible in Austria. It's a little bit different to China. But so I don't know the English word of the first machine. I call it hamburger maker. I think you know what it means. I put there the plastic flakes in, and there comes the granulate out. This is cleaning, get out the dirt. The next step would be to crystallize. If you don't crystallize the PET, it sticks together. So not possible to process. And the next step would be, let's say here is it a high pressure pot, but very similar is the process of SSP. You put temperature in, and put out the oxygen, and therefore you can build up the IV. And this is a standard process. But one thing I told you before, you have to get out the moisture. Otherwise, especially if you go in with moisture PET in the liquid plastic, it will destroy the IV. Again, IV means quality. So this should explain it. We have an IV with 0.78, that's normal range. You try a hot air dryer to get out the moisture. The next step would be a dry air dryer. You can hear me, I hope. I'm very loud. So, but you have minimum 500 ppm inside of the PV bottle flake. And after you get in the liquid plastic, let's say it's like fire and water, doesn't fit together. The IV goes down dramatically. You will lose minimum 6 points. 6 points, it's energy. You have to build it up again in the SSP. SSP puts energy in, with energy in, IV goes up. We have the quality. And for sure the decontamination. Standard, that's standard technology. And therefore, we make a different way. Some Austrians think different, so we make a different way. We use the pot not on the end, we use the pot on the first step. And that helps us very, very lot. First thing, the bottle flake is only a thickness of 0.4 millimeters. If there's dirt in the middle, like moisture, like gas, like oil, anything, of 0.4 millimeter, you get it very easy out. It's, yeah, if it's in the middle, it has only to move 0.2 millimeters out. If you have a pellet like before, and it's 2.5 millimeter, that means if it's directly in the middle, it has to move 1.225 millimeters out, and that needs more energy and more time. And that's the reason. We put there, this only is our energy consumption. It's the temperature and the time. You see it before? Before we have the cool time, and that's the reason why we don't need so much energy like the other ones. And again, check energy means money. I told you, yeah, we are nice, we are good. I'm sure this picture you know, because in China, like I think in the year 2008, they built around 20 SSBs. They look every time like a skyscraper. That's the technology, and if you use it for bottle-to-bottle recycling, there would be the recycling planes, the extruder, the inline crystallization, and this is the hot pot, let's say, like we saw before. If you use this picture, this is a EREMA, you have to make it smaller to have it in the same measurement. It will be half of this small house. So you can see it's a power bank, how efficiency it works, how less energy it needs. For sure, if you have a skyscraper to heat up or to cool down, you need a lot of energy. If you have a small one, not so much energy. But the output is the same, 2.5 tons per hour. It's the same product, more or less, but half of the energy. But how does it work? This technology is developed in the year 1983, but without a vacuum. We have produced around 4,000 machines in the past, but the first EREMA is built up in the year 1998. And there we have the idea to use vacuum. Before, when we started, we don't know how it works, but we find a way. And now we use a double gate slide. We put there the bottle flakes in, open the gate, bottle flakes folds in this area, close the gate, suck on, get out the air, open the second door, and falling down. So more or less it comes in without other airs, without other contamination. And there's a term label. You see it here better. It means like a mixing unit, a big mixer. And there is no air inside. No air, again, no moisture, no air. We heat it up, we boil it. And you know, if you boil water here, you need around 100 degrees. If you boil it on the Mount Everest, it needs around 50 degrees. And under vacuum, it starts with 20 or 30 degrees. So vacuum and energy, temperature, helps to boil the PET bottle flakes. And that gets all the contamination out here. And the bottle flakes moves from the top. Let's say there will be a temperature of 50 degrees down, because here's the extruder. The extruder every time takes something out. And if you take something out, it goes down, 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 down. And if it goes down, it gets hotter, because there we have 50 degrees, there we have 220 degrees. This is a simple system, but very, very efficiency. And we make this not one time, there are 3 different types. So if you have like a sheet line, you don't need a very high IV, but you need low energy consumption. Also you can use this for like in Indonesia, we use this for bottle to bottle, because it goes not to the great brand owner. It goes for the local market. And for them it's not so important if the IV is 0.8 or 0.75. But they can use it very cheap. But maybe if they say, maybe in the future the quality should be higher, they can buy a second reactor or a third, and they can produce brand owner quality. Start with a small one, get up to high class. You cannot do this with a car, but with our technology you can do it. And the same is, before you have only FDA, let's say, in the end, the Formula 1, it's brand owner quality. And also the flexibility of the system, you can see it on the, we call it IV, quality, again, and output rate. So you are absolutely flexible. If you have the prime, again, with 3 reactors, and you want a very high IV, in this case, we have an extruder with a size of 210 millimeters. You get with an IV of 0.86, input material 0.76, only output of 1400 kg. Yeah, good, nice. But like I told you, some owner they don't need it. Some owner they only needs, or some customer they only need 0.78, and there you increase the output. So you are absolutely flexible. Everything what you want, you will get with this system. And before I told you flexibility, and this is flexibility 2 times, because we have 3 different reactors, 8 different types, 2 different extruders, 10 different, two different types, and 10 different sizes, and. It's not possible to fit everything together, but I'm sure what you want you will get from us, because it's possible to put up 400,000 different systems. And again, IV stability is a major thing for all. I hear it many times, especially in Asia. They say, our PET input material is something special because we have gas bottle with 0.84 and we have very low quality and we want this and this. Really, all over the world, the input material looks like similar. You can say roughly 60–70% are between 0.75 and 0.77. And if you go between 0.72 and 0.8, you are more or less 99%. Sure, it's possible to, on the market, to get 0.84, but it's not standard. But in our machine, you can put this in, a big mixture of anything, and on the end, you will get more or less totally 0.8. That means we have a better quality than virgin material, because virgin material, you have plus minus 0.02, and we have plus minus 0.01. Okay, the other things, I'm not sure if I can read it, so I have to use my notes. What I know for sure, we separate the contamination and the IV increasing. So again, we are on the flexibility side. You don't need a mixing unit, so you save money. We have an online measurement system, so you every time you knew which IV you have in your system. And this is more or less the screen on the computer, so you see, can use this for your quality management and see everything is correct. And you can also give this to your customers, because everything is proven by our IV measurement. For sure, we have less material inside. That means we have very short reacting time. And so we are very flexible and very fast. Before I told you we are good, we are really good. We are on the market since 1983. We have sold around 4,000 machines worldwide. EREMA is since 1998. Bottle flakes come from the company Coca-Cola in the year 1991 or 92 to the European market. Since we know this, how to process, but EREMA is since 1998. We have sold around 130 EREMAs worldwide. Nobody can say this, he used the bottle to bottle. This number, it's impossible, there's only EREMA. We produce with our machine 750,000 tons a year. And for bottle to bottle, it should be 450,000. Yeah, that was a huge number. We're also in China. We are the market leader for PU-PET recycling and PU-PR. There it's more industry-based because the technology, the consumer market is developing. Like some good guys like Dr. Wong, they are searching for something this, and it comes more and more. And we hope we can also make more business in China for post-consumer. In Europe, you can say in post-consumer 70% is used from EREMA, especially in the film industry. We have sold last year around 20-25 machines in China. That means now a new number around 180. We have our own office in China, so every time when you want to call us, call our office in Shanghai. We speak perfect Chinese. And I got the number. I have to close my files, so I'm just in time. I can only speak two words in Chinese. One is Ni Hao, I forgot it before, but for sure I can say Xi Xi. Thank you.